Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to Comic Book Nostalgia. I'm CB Nostalgia, and we have a little update on Young Justice and Green Arrow. Now, as many of you know, Greg Weisman fields a ton of fan questions over on his Ask Greg site, and often based on other clues we have, it does reveal some interesting details about the show. Recently, the showrunner fielded a question about Green Arrow, and given what we saw about the upcoming Young Justice comic series, Targets, it does reveal an interesting revelation about that character that is quite a departure from the comics. Let's take a couple minutes to talk about what Greg said about Green Arrow and his current status and why he might actually be part of this comic. It might be purely practical. Now before we do that though, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button and ring the bell for all the updates. Also, the big giveaway. We're going to give away this Oculus Quest 2 at 50,000 subscribers. All you need to do to get in on our giveaway is be a subscriber and leave us a comment. Also, while you're at it, make sure you check out our line of Stay Whelmed merchandise down below. It's a pretty cool way for you and your friends to stay whelmed, feel the Aster, and crash the mode, all while supporting this channel. Plus, there's some pretty cool stuff over there, including Restore the Snyderverse and Free Khonshu, so make sure you check it out. Well, like I was saying, we've got some pretty big announcements from Young Justice in the last couple of weeks, and nothing is probably bigger than the news that we are getting another Young Justice TV show comic called Targets. Now, we don't know a lot about this comic, but one character that was featured very prominently in the art that we got was Green Arrow. And there might be a pretty good reason for this. Recently, over on the Ask Greg site, Greg Weisman had some pretty interesting things to say about Green Arrow, and there might be a reason why he's working with Bowhunter Security. Now, the user asked, how broke is Green Arrow? He dressed rather smart for someone who's broke, he could afford a hospital room for Speedy, he's able to run several vaults fully equipped with weaponry and electrical bills that come with it, and he does go on to ask several questions about Oliver's financial status. Now, Greg's response was pretty simple. He said, he's not destitute. He's just not a millionaire any longer. After that, he did point out that we're assuming that he paid for Speedy's healthcare, which is not a safe assumption, and that the League does fund a lot of stuff for heroes, including things like those vaults that was mentioned. We also find out Oliver did set up a substantial trust for Roy after Oliver lost his fortune, and that trust actually went to Will. Clones are complicated, and this probably created a lot of problems. Now this is where it brings us to the comics, because we do see a lot of Green Arrow in the comic, specifically working with Clayface, but it appears, at least what we can gather so far, all these people are working for Bowhunter Security. Now, like you said, he's not destitute, but he's not a millionaire any longer, and he might simply have bills to pay. I found this pretty funny because traditionally Green Arrow is one of those Batman billionaire characters, which does sometimes give him an aspect to some fans as sort of a generic clone of Batman. I like that this is happening, and I like that the possibility of him being financially needy could once again help drive a story in a very human way, and this is something Greg and crew do super well. Now obviously we have a couple more weeks before these comics come out, and we'll probably find out a lot about Green Arrow then. In case you didn't know, Green Arrow was part of the DC Showcase that is a Young Justice adjacent story. As a matter of fact, he was saving Princess Perdita at the time, who was just a child. Now she's queen and all grown up, and actually recently broke up with Beast Boy, but I don't think we've seen the end of that either. Now, obviously, once we get any more Young Justice news, you know this is the place to find it. But until that time comes, what do you guys think? What do you think of Green Arrow being somewhat financially needy on Earth 16? And do you like the idea of him coming full circle and actually working for Roy's Bowhunter Security? He's like a father figure for them. Why wouldn't they help him out? Sound off in the comments below. If you like this video, make sure you hit like, click subscribe, and if you don't ring that bell, you're not getting any updates. Peace.